Did what?
We made some orange juice after the butter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. What are you laughing at?
Go.
Go. So we made the orange juice after the butter. And then we tasted the orange juice and it was super delicious. It was really good. And it was
fresh squeezed. It's called fresh squeeze.
Fresh squeeze. Yes. Okay. And then after we went to this old school and they teach us about how old school lived.
They taught us.
She taught us, this nice lady, she taught us how we used to go to school and the old lunches and the old ways where you get in trouble. She taught us everything about that, and she even taught us about what the boys used to get tired and the girls used to have braids and they used to stick them in ink. So that is a very mean way of how the boys did it in the back. So yes. And then the next thing we went to this nice lady, the specialist lady there, and she used to make cloths for things and like old things. So we got to make a bookmark, and here's mine. I made this bookmark.
Ooh,
right
beautiful.
Super amazing. And I first found this flower one, which was the most prettiest one to me. So I really liked it. It was really fun to make. We glued it. We made that. The next thing that we did when we went, it was the same part, but we just went to somewhere different. We were some mashing some coffee beans, like those coffee beans that Mommy has over there, with the stirrer, and then we are also cracking walnuts. And here's an example of a real walnut. This is a real walnut. Has some walnuts in it. Had some nice walnut. We didn't get to eat any of walnut, but it looked delicious. And she gave us that example of a real walnut. This is real. So it's really tough to crack. The next thing we did was about an Indian tribe thing, about a necklace. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to show this, but for the school, we got this. I got my favorite color. Well, they just gave us whatever color, but I actually got my favorite color. And it says Hurst on there. Right there. And it also says something about, it says something, it says 1906 or 1906. And then we each got a necklace color. It didn't matter what color we got. It just mattered what the colors of feathers and types of pony beads. We got some pony beads, and they actually colored the pony beads so they would start to look like. So here's the ribbon I got. And then these pony beads would start to look like these. Pony beads. Nice pony beads. And then the feathers meant something like this. These feathers are an example of, the green, they're examples of different types of actions or moods or anything. every feather means something. I got the coolest one to me, I thought. So I got the blue means sky and ocean. The green means nature and trees and everything. And then the purple means wisdom. Purple is my favorite because it's wisdom. And plus, I had enough time to actually make mine, so it started to look like this. It looked like this. I really liked it because all of the things on here are the things that I really like to do. I like to help nature. I like to look at the sky. I like to help the ocean. I love the ocean. I like sea creatures, but I'm mostly afraid of some. But the purple was the most important to me because it's wisdom. And I don't really do like brave things, but I do kind of do wisdom things. They're kind of the same, not that much though. But the green really helps a lot of me because I love to help nature and I love to grow things. I like to help my grandma a lot with everything. Oh no, those did not work out. I think I did not put in the cereal. No! They're ruined. Okay. Back on plan B. So the feathers were really much to me. My favorite one was really like either the gold, the school, and either the orange juice, because the orange juice was very yummy and it was delicious and yummy. And I also put my name on the bottom. Very nice, very nice. And these will just bring some memories back because I really liked her so much. It was like super cool and amazing. Super cool. And it helped me learn a lot. So it kind of was like learning because we did learn. But the last one, they didn't give us anything for this. But it was really fun. This nice lady, she taught us about how they like used to hunt and go on horses, like, and they have like saddles or something. Let's just pretend like this is a saddle. So the horse could be my beanie. So let's just pretend that. And then they would have a rope attached to them, one of the collars. And then if they wanted the horse to turn this way, we would have pulled this one. And then if we wanted him to turn this way, we'd put this one. And if we wanted him to go straight, we just kind of let the thing loose a little bit and let him go straight. But if we wanted him like to back up, we would go back like this, but not like, because if we go like, we would stop. We would just stop. And when we would stop, we don't want to stop because we just want to go lightly to go back. And then she also taught us about how to hunt correctly. she said if we were going on a long trip, we would have to have something to hold all our food in and all our drinks. But we don't need something to hold our drink because it's too big, because we have one of those round things that has all our water in it, and we could just put it around like this. I forgot what it was called, but it was really cool because you didn't need to put it in a bag. And then she taught us about having this thing for all our stuff to put in. So we would get on our horse, we would put a saddle on it, and then we would have some bags, like these bags. Instead of like holding one of these kind of bags, just holding it, it might get in your way. Because when it goes up and down and bugs you, and then you can't have this on, because if you have this on, when you like ride, it hurts a little bit, because just imagine this was like a heavy one, because this is like nothing. This is really light. So you don't want to hurt you, so we had saddles. We'd put a saddle like this, and we would have bags on the side. Let's pretend this is a bag and this is a bag. We would put our food in here. We would put our supplies for hunting, like some guns and everything. So yeah, that's the guns. And then she also taught us about having some like hard rope things. And these rope things are like something that are like horse hair. Instead of real hair, they used horse hair because they didn't want to pull out their hair. Like, why are we pulling out our hair for just a rope? So when the horses died, they got their hair and they put it on a rope. They braided it, and it was really spiky. So when they hit like something, when they want it to do something, but they don't do it, we want it to do it, so we hit it with that, and then they'll kind of get hurt a little bit, so they'll actually do it, like something about that. And then we found another saddle that we found out that for a little tiny saddle, our first horse was a rocking horse, right? So if we wanted like a pretend horse in our house, we would just get like a kid saddle, which the saddle isn't really pretty, because if you want it pretty, you would have to be like really grown up and have a real horse, because the big saddles and the pretty saddles cost more, and you want it to be heavier because that's why they cost more. And when you want it to be heavier, you want to put more things on it, so you could like carry stuff and like do things. So you could like hold stuff and you could just run around without anything on because you have it on your horse. But that's not a real horse. That's why they didn't make it all fancy and everything. So you want to actually have a real horse. You don't want to have a pretend horse. Like, let's just pretend this is a horse, because I don't have a rocking horse anymore because I'm not a baby. So we'll pretend. Actually, this is a better example. Let's just pretend this is the horse, but it's just a stick. Don't worry, it's nothing like a horse. So we put on our saddle, and this is just like a kid one. So we put on our saddle, and the kid said, "Hey, why isn't mine all fancy like the other ones?" Well, it's because they weigh too much. This is not a real horse, right? So when it's not a real horse, you don't want a big fancy one because this is not a real horse and you're not going to go anywhere with it. So you're not going to get a fancy one. So why would you get a fancy one if you're not going to go anywhere and it's really heavy for you and you get tired of it and then you don't have any little tiny one and you just bought it for nothing. So I'm almost done. So when you bought it for nothing, why would you have bought in that? So you see the idea of not getting a big one, like this is a saddle, and this is a big, giant, pretty saddle, and this is just a kid's one. So you don't want to have a real horse and have like a little baby one, because that won't do anything. And then this one, this big pretty one, is not for your little rocking horse, like this is a rocking horse, or this is a rocking horse, or anything is a rocking horse. But you want it to have the nice, pretty style for a real horse because it's heavier and it costs more, but you don't want to just buy something that costs a lot for just a rocking horse. You want to go places. You don't want to stay places. You don't want to do anything not fun places. Something. I'll pick it up. And then that's all my stuff.
Good job.